Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's get into it. Want to apologize to my man Blood Boxing. I didn't know Blood was live, and I was getting ready to go live, and I saw Blood was all. It's like Blood Boxing was talking. I stopped. I gotta listen to Blood. Blood is going in on Wilder, so definitely, if you want to check out a video, definitely check out Blood Boxing video. After this video, if you show up here to check this out, uh, I apologize for you guys who haven't been able to get the notifications and all of the things that has been transpiring here with my live stream. It's been completely jacked up. I don't know what they're doing, but it has nothing to do on my end. I've done my part. Uh, that's on their side of the fence, and hopefully they can get it fixed going forward. Now, how I feel about Deontay Wilder. Wilder, I think, did an interview with 78. So shouts out to 78. Yeah, 78's Fight News or Sports TV now. Um, Shouts out to D Styles. Shouts out to Chris from Robodope Radio. Joe Abib. So Deontay Wilder basically just let everybody know exactly who he is and what he stands for. Now, what made it quite obvious to me was yesterday when he came out and did this interview. I don't know what he hoped to accomplish. I don't know what was his goal, but that was the weakest thing I probably have ever seen from somebody who's supposed to be a world champion. It was completely soft. It was the worst I've ever seen somebody who was supposed to be a heavyweight champion. And I've heard so many excuses. What happened to the suit weighed 40 pounds that I had to carry coming to the ring and it took my legs away? We go from that to poison water. Somebody poisoned my water. That water just wasn't right. I was punching holes through the gloves. But then I took a sip of water, and then for some reason, I didn't feel right. So now it ain't the soup, it was some water. Now the water has been tampered. You believe that? The waters is tampering. Somebody then, oh, please hit the like button, folks. Now they want to act like we're so stupid we don't know what's going on in the world. You got beat. And the fact is, we gave you credit because you were not coming out here making any other excuses. You came out and actually backed a bunch of people online who was doing stuff for clicks and views, who knows absolutely nothing about the sport of boxing. You decide to back them because they were kissing your butt. And those are the facts. You let some conspiracy theorists feeds you some garbage. But see, he's mad because egg is on his face. You can tell more about a person when they lose than you can when they win it. See, when everything is going good, you can't really tell who people are. The moment something goes wrong, then you get to see the real person. Now you get to see how much sensitivity they actually have, how much unmanly they really are. A lot of y'all don't even know. Deontay Wilder was knocked out before in a tune-up fight early in his career. The guy knocked Wilder out so bad he was out on his feet. There was the longest, they spent about 2-3 minutes in the corner dumping buckets of water on his head to try to wake him up to get him back into the fight. Wilder eventually got a knockout, but the guy caught him. And that's how he got the reputation for having a soft chin. This was early in his career. And a lot of people thought Wilder would just wind up being a sparring partner for the rest of his boxing career. We were rooting for you. Everybody was. Because we knew you were limited as a fighter. But we was rooting for you because of your daughter's situation. You know, we wanted to make sure you had a career to provide for her, you know, and be able to pay her medical bills and, you know, succeed because you're a football player who happened to get hurt. You know, so this boxing avenue just opened up a whole new lane for you. Now, when Wilder was coming up and was knocking people out, you know what? And please hit the like button, folks. When Wilder was doing all those things, you know what? Y'all didn't even care. None of y'all cared. Wilder was putting people on their backs, and none of y'all cared. Because y'all didn't know who the people was. Wilder was a humble guy. He didn't have all that flashy money. He had personality. He's the son of a preacher. That's why he always sounded like he giving a sermon. Misusing Bible quotes. And he jumps in the ring and decides this is the way he want to go. When he first came up in boxing, the first people he ever dealt with as far as fight hype, boxing scene, or LE Setback, his little ES News and all that, the person he dealt with was BoxingSocialist.com, was us. Boxing Socialist was the first people he dealt with, was us. He used to be on the Boxing Socialist radio show with Sean. I wasn't on the show. If I did, it was a cameo. Hell, I still got his old number. Deontay Wilder and his team, his managers and everybody else, they were open for anybody who would want to talk or, you know, do something with Deontay Wilder. They was willing to give Sean Craddock a piece of any sponsorship deal he get with Deontay Wilder. Sean was working with his manager, whatever, and they was like trying to get sponsors for Wilder. And he was like, Sean, you know, if you can get a sponsor in, we'll cut and make a deal for you. And there's some other details that's going on in that I don't want to step on any ground levels. And, you know, I'll let Sean tell you the rest on his time. Uh, yeah, Sean is real close to Deontay Wilder and them, you know, his camp and all them people there, you know, like, and him and Wilder, they prayed together on the phone. You know, Sean's a pastor. So Sean know the Bible like this, like every quote. He can tell you where it came from and everything else. Sean is all about the Bible, for real. So, so Wilder and him was, you know, they vibed on that, and it was always about God and everything else. Then, as he started to ascend and started to win big fights, when he knocked out Stavern and started getting a lot of more popularity, and now people are interested in him. Showtime is interested in him, and now they talking about big money deals, and now here come endorsements. You know, when people didn't even want him, they talked about his story with his daughter and everything, and tried to package this deal. They didn't want to touch him. So now he's knocking everybody out. Nobody wanted to touch him. Now he's knocking out the big names, or the names that people they thought was going to beat him. And he's still knocking people out. Now they want to touch him. Now his fame is going through the roof. He's getting a taste. Everybody wants a piece of Deontay Wilder. But we know he's fighting people that are tailor-made for him. A fight with Tyson Fury is just a bad matchup for him. He doesn't have enough boxing ability to be able to deal with someone like Tyson Fury. But going into that fight, his head, the very first fight, his head was through the roof. He felt a lot of people turned their backs on him before he got the knockout against King Kong, the first fight. Then after the second fight with King Kong, and he got the knockout, he's, you know, the ego was through the roof. He changed all his numbers, and now it was all this pro-black. Now it's like, oh, we pro-black now. It wasn't no more about God, really. All the preacher stuff is kind of gone. Now it was more about all being all pro-black. And he got all these pro-black yes men. Now, boxing socialists and things like that, they weren't as big as it was at the time. At one point, we were neck and neck with like Fight Hype and ES News. We were like up there for a while as a website. Like we were, you know, we weren't at boxing scene level, but we were moving up big time because Floyd Mayweather came and gave us that endorsement. What that did was open the door. It would open a major door. And don't forget to hit the like button, good people. And if you're new here, subscribe to the page. Like button is free. So that opened up a whole big door for us to be up there. So that's why Wilder and them wanted to deal with Sean and all that, because they saw that we was doing some numbers. Now, all of a sudden, you know, we ain't doing the same numbers as before. Fight Hype and everybody else is doing big on the YouTube channels. Everything's transitioning more over to YouTube than actual websites. So now they kind of switching up, and now they want to do more with these other guys who just basically kissing their butt. They're getting exclusives. You know, some guys that come out of nowhere, like some just bloggers, just walk up just because they kissing his butt. They get an interview, They get all kind of accolades, passes, all kind of nonsense, right? But they broke, the majority of them, so they can't afford to just travel out and go see Deontay Wilder. So all they could do really is talk about Wilder from the house or their couch at home. They talk about Wilder sitting on their couch, and that's it. That's the extent of what they can do. Now, Wilder is now the Mr. Big Man. So he was so Mr. Big Man, nobody was coming to check his fight out. Nobody was coming to interview him because they had another unveiling of the fight that was happening on the zone, and all the media went over there to check that fight out. Meanwhile, he had a fight coming up, and he had an open training camp, session for the media, and the only person that showed up was Fight Hype, and they gonna send Fight Hype home. Talking about Fight Hype ain't with him because they said something about Wilder that he didn't like. Fight Hype ain't with me. I ain't gonna do no interview with them. And he went and did an exclusive interview. Mr. Pro Black did an interview with Ellie Setback, though, who's 100% Jewish. But you so pro black, why you didn't get that exclusive interview to one of your brothers? Why you didn't invite them to your room? They were out there at your fight. Why didn't you say come to my hotel room? Y'all can set up y'all camera stuff and y'all can record me and put it out on y'all page. Because I'm pro black. Right? Nope. He chose Ellie Setback because Ellie had the platform. Ellie was popping at the time. So he saw the opportunity to keep his name out there and keep going. Give Ellie the exclusive. Where he was feeling himself. He could talk bad about Floyd. Man, they just jealous of me. Floyd jealous of me. And what would Floyd be jealous of you for? Why would a man who got more than you be jealous of you? It's just like, it made no sense. Floyd is not thinking about you. You're not in Floyd's category. So Floyd talking about Joshua and everything, he's looking at it from a boxing perspective. So Wilder embarrassed himself and he disappointed me because he comes out and blames the trainer, blaming the referee, blame. I was like, man, the jacket when I was giving you a pass on, because I'm like, no, jacket or no jacket, he whooped your ass. And that's really what happened. So I don't know anything about no Billie Jean jacket or whatever he talking about. He got his butt whooped. And it was bad. The whooping was bad. And my thing is this. People get beat all the time, B. It's how you take the loss. It's what's going to make you great. Because I'm going to tell you like this. The brothers they don't know what an egg weight is. He going to say Tyson Fury had egg weights in there. First they said it was horsehair in the gloves. All these conspiracy theorists. And now Wilder's coming out. So I guess the latest thing they came out with was some doggone egg weights. And egg weights, these little weights that fit in your hand that you normally use in training camp. Not to hit somebody with, but to hit the pads. It's supposed to add some heaviness to your hands and to the gloves, and you get to work out with them. It's just like working out with hand weights. But now it's like something that can fit on your ring finger or whatever, and then you can hold it in your hands. And they call them egg weights, like 3 pounds a piece. Now, some sparring partner, I guess, came out and said that Tyson Fury had egg weights on me. He used egg weights. And since then, it's been a circus, and now they got a new excuse, the egg weights. Now, Wilder's convinced he got a dent in his head put there from the doggone egg weights. Brothers only see punches going in people's faces. They don't know what's happening outside no ring. Because if you got proof that that guy did that to you, then he should be barred for life. Now, he talked about the first fight. Really? You're talking about fight number 1 now? You're trying to get fight number 3, and you talking about fight number 1, the glove was sliding off. As if he was knocking you out in the first fight. He wasn't. He was just boxing. So why wouldn't he have knocked you out or dropped him? That's the fight you dropped him, what, twice? I don't get it. He looked better in the second fight. And then you have people from your corner, and there is somebody from the commission who sits there and watches the gloves. When the hands are wrapped, it is signed off by the deputy commissioner. So the deputy commissioner is there. They talk to the person who's from your camp, who's probably Mark Breland, who's watching the hands get wrapped. They turn to Breland. He gives the okay, like everything is good. And they got to wrap it from there. So once the gloves are wrapped and they got somebody's representative is sitting there watching the gloves get wrapped on the other side. Sometimes it's done at different times so that the trainer can have time to be over there. Or they'll just send a representative. So the deputy commissioner, once they're wrapped, he has to sign off on it. Then it's the gloves. So now when the gloves are on, the gloves can only come to a certain level on your wrist. It cannot expose the tape that's on your wrist. That wrap where it's supposed to be is a certain level, like 3.5 inches, and that's it. Now the tape should never show of the wrap. The glove comes up to the tape and covers the tape of the glove. So if they see the tape of your wrap, then they already know that your glove is coming down or it's too low. Now, once the gloves are wrapped and they're on the hand, the person that Deontay Wilder has in his camp who's watching all of this goes down, they get to see and make sure the glove is okay. The gloves are wrapped and they are signed by the deputy commission. So you mean to tell me the deputy commission was in on it too? And your trainer was in on it too, and they all sat there and said, okay, here comes the egg weight in your hand. Now let's wrap it up. In a championship fight, he's going to risk being suspended and wrap his hands in egg weights. And it's so ridiculous. The main story is Wilder's coming up with excuses because of the simple fact he doesn't want that fight. He wants out. Wilder don't want that fight. Why would he? Why would Wilder want the fight? No reason in the world. Hit that like button for your boy Cino. If you want to donate to the page, my cash app is Carcino, Karceno. Oh, you interviewed Wilder? Okay. Well, yeah, that's good. Somebody interview him. I hope you asked him some real good questions. Like, why are you making all these damn excuses? Why you change your phone number? Why did you acting all bougie now? And now that since you didn't lost, and this dude actually got Paulie Malignaggi fired from doggone Showtime, allegedly. But it was him. Got Paulie Malignaggi fired because he said that Eastern Europeans, it was like Eastern Europeans is, they basically taking over the sport of boxing. And once he said that, They talked about, oh, Paulie hate blacks. I'm like, that's not what he said. He's never said. He's not a racist. It's just ridiculous. And the PBC side wanted to fire him, and Showtime is like, why would we fire Paulie Malignaggi? And Wilder wanted him fired because after the first Tyson Fury fight went down, he said Tyson Fury won. And Wilder didn't like it and tried to get him fired after that fight. Fired. That shows you how sensitive Deontay Wilder is. Oh, yes, sir. Don't forget to hit that like button. Oh, what's good, Neil? So, once that was done, Deontay Wilder decided to throw Mark Breland under the bus. Mark Breland is, and I want you guys to understand and hear me clearly, he is the greatest amateur fighter in the history of USA boxing. Let me tell you this right now. He is the greatest amateur boxer in the history of amateur boxing in USA boxing. In the history of USA boxing, Mark Breland. Now, this guy is going to, for no apparent reason, decide to spike your drink. Mark Breland, one, is going to do that. All of a sudden, when you're his trainer, and there y'all in the biggest fight ever of y'all careers, he's going to come in to sabotage you. You weren't prepared. You weren't properly prepared. Physically, you probably was, but mentally, you weren't prepared. Tyson Fury figured you out and said, oh, man, I got hit before. I know what I'm doing now. And he got up and took care of business. The second fight, he knew, just push Wilder back. He can't fight off his back foot. He can't wind up and throw that big right hand. I'm more safer backing him up than him coming forward. And you started to see that. And his losses were starting to reflect it. Like his loss, rather. Then you got all these clowns coming out of nowhere, like defending him with all this stuff. Now, I can see if you're just reporting on it. But I mean, like, they're going through every conspiracy theory they could dig their hand into, trying to cover for Wilder. He lost. He got knocked out. He got knocked down. He got up, and he was fighting with all his courage and heart, but he was only getting hurt. Like, it would have got worse. So it was like, lay down, lay down. So I'm disappointed that he chose to go down that route to feed his frenzy of fans that support him so they can go out and make these crazy 20-some videos about, somebody who shouldn't have a video really talking about them right now, unless they talking about progress of boxing, which I'm not hearing. Wilder has a it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. So Wilder got to get rid of them yes men. This dude got Paulie Malignaggi fired for no reason, but pushed it and tried to get him removed. This is why Paulie didn't call the second fight. That's not a king is supposed to be like. You know what I'm saying? You talk all this king stuff, and man, he the king coming down the aisle with crowns on your head. Pulling out a performance on a video using Bible quotes. A man says when they steal from you, it's gonna be 7 times worse when it comes back around the other way. Well, I don't have to go into scripture, but we'll just stick with Genesis. When Adam and Eve, okay, when Eve went and took the apple, what did Eve do? Eve made an excuse and she blamed the serpent. He seduced me. The snake seduced me into eating the doggone fruit. God didn't give a damn about that, did he? God wasn't into excuses. He was into results. And that's the same thing the people want. Results. They don't give a damn about no egg white, scrambled eggs with cheese, none of that. They gonna be, was the egg scrambled? He threw some eggs on them, baby. Wilder said he threw some eggs on him. And that egg got on his face and gave him some extra weight or something. They don't know what you talking about. All they know is you let this man lick the blood off your body. He was beating you up. That's all they know. That's all they know. You let a man beat you up. That's what they saw, and that's what they know, Wilder. That's all they know. I wish he went back to the grain and went back to the. Now he's trying to champion a bunch of people that kiss his butt because he don't like to be told the truth. He don't like to hear reality. They claim they want the funk, but they not. They not about that. They want to hear happy, good, joy stuff all day long. That's why old Malik Scott, who butt naked with his wife on Instagram all day, taking all these modeling poses. You think he gonna get you ready for a fight? No, he's another kiss butt. And that's what kiss butts do. I could never be a guy that follow behind somebody else and wait for them to be generous to me. I can't do that. I could not follow that a million times in my life. I'm too much of a person, alpha, who ain't gonna go for that. So I'd rather come out my own way. Now I could respect another fighter, but I can't respect excuses. You got an opportunity to right the wrong. You had an automatic rematch clause. If you don't want to fight and you want to get out the fight, just say you want to get out the fight, man. That's all you got to say. You took that fight because of the pressure of the people. You knew if you didn't take that rematch, what people was going to say. They'd have said you was scared because it was the first time you had to deal with some embarrassment. Then you was blaming the suit. Now it's some poisoned water. Now the referee's against you. What the referee do? Everybody was protecting you. They weren't there for Tyson Fury. Everybody was there to see you. Here's the thing. Why would Mark Breland, your head trainer, if he wanted to sabotage you, how does he even know about how to poison the water? Like what does he get for doing this to you? Y'all in the biggest fight ever. If you beat him, he's the trainer of the greatest champion and number one fighter in boxing. So why would he want to sabotage you like that and go to that great lengths? If he wanted to do that, all he had to do is stop the fight at any time. He's your head trainer. As soon as he felt like it was a flurry, he could have just threw the towel in. That's a lot simpler than going through this plot of poisoning water and disloyal. Nonsense after nonsense after nonsense. That's all I'm hearing, bro. That's all I'm hearing. So don't forget, man, if you're new here, subscribe to the page. Hit that notification bell so hopefully you get notified every time we put out a video or go live. The animated TI video is up. So if you check that out, you're probably going to laugh your butt off. We did the cartoon animation. So hopefully you guys like it. What's good? I see you. Don't forget to hit the like button. My Patreon is Carcino for Life. We will be going in over there. Go check out Blood Boxing video. He went live today. Check that out. It's going down. Yeah, Wilder went out to fight, man. He ain't talking like nobody that want to fight. He talking like somebody that want to talk. You ever seen somebody when you up there with your fist like, all right, come on, let's go, and they still want to talk? It's like, dog, we did all the talking yesterday. We got here, you said no words. Now you want to talk some more. Let's go with the hands. Nobody has time for excuses. That's just soft. Oh, blood went even further in. Blood went all the way in. I just kept it on a medium. Blood went all the way hard. You know how blood boxing is. It ain't no missed words over there. Blood kept it on like a level 5. I kept it on a level 5. I just kept it mild. Because I'm more disappointed than anything when it comes to Wilder. It's just flat out disappointment because I expected better from him. People lose fights all the time, but you can come back. You just lost one fight. But now your last 2 fights was a draw. Well, you had a draw with him and then you lost. You really lost both fights, to be honest. But a draw, okay, I could see that. Because of the knockdowns. But now that doubt then crept in. Can I even beat him the next time around? He needs something like this to make him feel good. That's why he went and got support from the internet so he can have people make him feel good again. I need to feel like the Bronze Bomber. The Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. Man, he was in the ring looking like Van Wilder. and not the Van Wilder that made some money. He looking like the rise of Taj Van Wilder. Now, y'all made every excuse for this guy for losing. So, and this is what disappointed me with Wilder, is that he went to people on social media to try to make him feel good about himself again. He went, and instead of having the belief in God and in himself, oh no, to show you how sensitive and shallow he is, he had to go to some feel-good people who doing stuff for clicks and views and likes only, knows nothing about the sport, who just gonna make up stuff just to support him, to make himself feel good, and he's gonna make himself believe it. He convinced himself to believe it. And anybody who has something negative to say about him, they can't have an opinion that don't agree with him. Those are not men. Those are big babies. Big babies. That's all. That's all they are, is big babies. And they got exposed. Now, this is where you prove you a real champion. You take it seriously. You come back and you right the wrongs. But all this talking about what you want to do and ain't trying to deliver on what you want to do, it's two different things. Fake confidence. So keep coming up with a script. Oh, it ain't over. Now we got poison waters. We got the referee and the trainer against him. You got we got egg weights. What's gonna be the next thing? Because you know it's something else coming. This ain't the end of it. He gonna come up with something else. You just gotta wait for it. So anyway, I'm out. Thank you guys who stuck around. I appreciate that. Y'all definitely day ones.